Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. Today I want to talk a little bit about language learning at home. Like how can you learn languages on a very relaxed way, and what are different options in order to improve. Because I heard from some people like, yo, I want to hear something more about how you learn languages, what you're doing at home. So that's why I'm making this video. I also want to say something about my Twitch channel, because like today at 2 o'clock afternoon Dutch local time, I will have a new special live stream today. It's very special because today there will be one winner, and that person can unlock a custom board game character. So that means that I will create a custom board game character based on the instructions in the chat. So that person in the chat can tell me what kind of character he or she wants, and then I can even put the nickname in there. So it's very cool, and when I play the board game and that person, exactly that person is in the chat, that person can tell me like, yo, can you use my custom board game character in the game? And then I will use that, so that's very cool. And after unlocking the character, like 3 times more winning, if you win 3 times more since that, I can even send the custom board character to you, if you want it, of course, And so as I said, today, 2 o'clock Dutch local time, my Twitch channel link is the first link below this video. And it would be very cool if you can join. And if you cannot join, like I also have like a stream on this day. And that's like also the special live stream where you can unlock a custom design like this. So I really want to say like that I want to talk today about language learning in general. Like, what am I doing? How are these? How is it going basically with language learning? Like sometimes it can be very difficult, So can you imagine you're learning a language and you're like, oh, I expected more progress, or things like that. I also have that sometimes, that I think that I need, I have a schedule. I think, okay, I need so many months to learn a language. And then later I find out that it takes more time. Well, I just want to say, like, you can always edit your schedule. I think that should not be a problem, that you could tell yourself like, okay, I need a little bit more for this language, okay? And then write down how many hours more per week you need, and how you can find extra time. So that's also why I think like language learning can be very entertaining. It can be very cool, and it's always good to look at your daily routine, so the things which you are already doing. So how can you make it easier for yourself to learn a language faster, So like these days many people are at home, so I also want to talk about that, like what can you do at home and learn different languages. Like I told before that I really like it to watch movies on Netflix, for example, that I write down the words which I don't know, right? That's very effective, but I also think it's good to listen to what other people are saying, So if someone is saying something in a different language, make sure that you write down the words which you don't know yet, right? And try to use the same word in different contexts, You could even try to to write something like an article or something with that specific word, and try to be creative. In my opinion, language learning is creative, and I think that we should think about that creativity. How can we improve and still learn on a very entertaining way? I think it's important to have many people around you who are also learning languages, and that you talk to them, like how's it going with them, and maybe even learn from the mistakes which they made. All right. So I think it's good to have people around you who speak different languages than you, and you also might speak different languages, and that you talk to each other like, okay, which mistakes did you made, and you wish that you knew that before. That's how you can learn from each other, right? And in exchange you could tell the same thing. So for example, you learned let's say you're learning Chinese, and you can tell that person like, okay, this is what I've found out. I wish that I started learning that before, for example, and then you can have a sort of advantage by talking which difficulties there are in the language, and help each other. So I think language learning means also like learning from other people, inspiring each other, and learn the best things from that. I think that's very, very important. So I must also say that I've learned a lot from other people around me, and without these people language learning would be very difficult. So again, I want to say thank you to all those people around me motivating to learn any language, even a rare language, and that's just so cool. Okay. I also think it is cool to learn something about the culture, right? So to read something about the different cultural rules, like, and if you understand that, it is also way more interesting and yeah, how do you say it? Like, you will see more result because if you understand the culture, if you know how these people talk to each other, what is yeah, useful, yeah, how do you say it? Like which expressions are normally or not, then you can also learn way faster. So at the beginning, I made this mistake a lot of times. I was thinking about, okay, this phrase I want to translate it to another language, right? And I was learning like that, but then I found out they're not using that phrase like that. That's not. It doesn't make any sense. So right now I understand a little bit better what the small contrasts are between cultures and how important it is that you cannot translate a phrase literally. So it's sometimes better to forget what you're thinking and to ask other people like, okay, what is common to say? Should I maybe not edit this phrase, which I want to translate, for another phrase, which sounds differently, but maybe is saying the same. Yeah, you're basically giving the same message, maybe not. Then that makes it so difficult. You want to say something, and you cannot say exact the same thing as what you want to say in your mother tongue. And that's just something which is about cultural differences and also about it's just very difficult to translate your feelings or your ideas to any other language. So I think what I found out is that when I learn a language for a longer time, let's say Spanish, I will use the words which some people from a certain country are using, but I maybe have this feeling in six languages or something, in six languages I maybe have a sort of feeling that I can have like deep conversations, but that I can also use some phrases without thinking, you know what I mean? That you're like, hey, I hear that before, and without realizing you're already using that phrase, right? I think then I realized, oh, this is going better, and I wish I had more time, that I could have the same feeling with these other languages, but I guess that's a normal process, and that's also again what I want to ask people, like, please give me feedback also about my English, because I want to improve my languages, that's very important for me. Also the people who speak like 2 or 3 languages on a very high level, they inspire me a lot, like, so whatever, if someone is speaking 10 languages on different levels, or 10 languages or more on different levels, or someone speaking 2 languages at a very high level, or 3 languages, that person is as impressive for me, like I think that's inspiring me a lot, so I think it's very cool that we have this language learning community of people with different language goals and that we can learn from each other. And that's also why I admire so many different language channels with their different goals, their different messages. And I think it's cool that we all have different goals, so we have something to talk about, And if everyone would have the same goals, it might be a little bit boring. So I want to say everyone, like who's creating language content, like thanks for the cool content which you're creating and inspiring so many people, and we can learn a lot from each other, and that's very cool. And I just want to say that if you're learning a language, variation is important. If you realize that a language is too difficult for you, then try to realize why the language is so difficult, and like you can even emphasize some parts of the language, right? So for example, I have a lot of problems with the tones in Mandarin. So what I'm doing, I'm focusing a lot just on tones, and I'm asking, like I have a friend, he's Italian, he speaks Chinese like a native speaker, and he has a very native accent, and I just talked to him about how can I improve that, and I'm just trying to listen and listen and listen and try to get it in my head first before I reply it. You know what the difference is? So patience is really important. So you're hearing something, and before pronouncing it, you just try to listen. The same as like how you listen to music. Do you know this feeling? You're listening to a music song, and it takes some time before it's in your head. When it's in your head, it's way easier to, how do you say it? Same as with languages, it's way easier to know how to pronounce it or how to repeat it by hearing it in your head, And so language learning is also a little bit like music for me. It's literally music in my ears, but it's also like music, because it's in your head, And we have special feelings when we're learning languages, and every language has its own character. So I want to say you guys like good luck with language learning, and I just want to say that I want to motivate you guys and keep it up, keep learning.